and I think he's destined to make some Pro Bowls in his career. So I have a very good feeling that my team's on enough of a roll at home. Remember, they're like the only team in the league that gets fans. I don't know. It seems like every game at Jerry World, there are more fans. It feels like it's half full.
It went from like 5,000 to 6,000. Now we're up to 30.
I look around, I say, it's half full. It looks like COVID. What COVID?
So let me ask you this, Skip. Here's a team, your defense now. Your defense is second to last in rushing. I mean, they're last in rushing defense. They're second to last in scoring defense.
But a lot of that got built up from all those disasters early.
But here's the thing, though. And what you're doing is taking the last 2 games and so you want to whitewash 12 previous games and only look at the last 2 games.
Somehow this defense made peace with the new coordinator, Mike Nolan. I don't think he'll be back next year, but somehow internally, maybe led by Sean Lee, who's still the leader of that defense, who is healthy, and I think he's going to play a lot on Sunday. I think they all just said, because you don't like him. But
I like him. He just can't play no more.
Okay, well, Van Der Esch has got an ankle, so I don't even know if he's going to be able to go. But somehow that defense has said, let's just do it in spite of him. Let's just play our technique the way he wants us to play and see if we can figure this out. And DeMarcus Lawrence has risen and shone in the last 2 Sundays, where he gave me 2 Pro Bowl games in a row, and I need another one against Jalen Hurts. And I just got a feeling they can win this game 30-27. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, back in Washington, okay, look what's happening here. You realize they just got flexed. So, all of a sudden, for the first time all year, they're going to feel pressure they have not felt because they've been doing it in the shadows. They sort of came from nowhere when you least expected it. They started Haskins the first 4 games. He was a disaster. They did steal the first game against Philly, and that kind of kept them afloat. Then they wiped out Dallas twice, second time on Thanksgiving. It was just annihilation, humiliation. And yet, there was no pressure on them because nobody really cared about the least until lately.
Well, I'm disappointed that you guys got flexed out because we know what you guys do in prime time. You guys buckled in prime time. Remember every prime time game that you guys have played this year? What has happened? You look terrible. So I'm disappointed that you got flexed out. That they flexed Cleveland and the Giants in your schedule because that would have been a loss.
Okay, but I told you yesterday, I was hoping that the playing field will get leveled between us and the Washington football team, our longtime arch rival, our most bitter rival, because we got strapped with one Ben DiNucci game in prime time at Philadelphia. How lucky were you in that game? Our 7th-round rookie had to play, and he was not ready to, and I'm not sure he'll ever be ready to.
Well, Washington said we got strapped with Dwayne Haskins.
Okay, well, you did not. You picked him. He was like the 15th overall pick in the draft. I mean, come on.
Ron Rivera said I didn't pick him.
Okay, well, he didn't, and now you got problems because it doesn't look like it's going to be your 3rd-string quarterback, Taylor Heineke. That would be fair as fair, right? Because he's undrafted out of Old Dominion, but he did start a game for Carolina a couple of years ago.
Right.
But then you got Steven Montez from Colorado, undrafted rookie, is on your practice squad. And I was even hoping he would be your Ben DiNucci, that you're going to have to play him. Well, it's just fair. Level the playing field. You can have one game with Steven Montez. We had one with Ben DiNucci.
No, don't do that, Skip.
We had one with Garrett Gilbert. He played pretty well, actually.
Look, come on, Skip. We're playing with a guy that many people thought he would never play again. He almost had his leg amputated.
Okay, I got it.
That should be our Ben DiNucci.
Okay, all right. So, whatever. So, it looks like Alex Smith, he threw on the side. He's listed as limited, which means I guess he's going to play. That's what it feels like to me. He's got a calf injury. Okay, so how limited will he be if he starts the game? Well, all I got to tell you is the last time I watched Alex Smith was at San Francisco against the same team that we just blew out 41. They got a late Hail Mary, 33. It's 41-33. Alex Smith had a QBR of 9 on a scale of 0 to 100 in the game back in his old stomping grounds where he got picked 1st overall at San Francisco.
Right.
Help me out. Is that good?
No, Skip.
No.
Because, look, the thing is, they're probably going to heat him up. Skip, he can't move.
Okay, thank you. So it's either going to be Alex Smith or they're stuck with a Dwayne Haskins who...
They can't get off the roster fast enough.
Okay, they cannot because, again, they fined him. They took away his captaincy.
Well, they should put an S on his chest. Selfish.
Okay, selfish. That's fine with me. And by the way, Steven Montez on the practice squad liked a tweet that called Dwayne Haskins garbage, G-A-R-B-A-G-E. It was just written out garbage, and he liked it. Ooh, that's strong. Yeah. I wish he was starting. But the point is, if you're stuck with Dwayne Haskins for whatever reason, because Rivera's saying, well, if it's not Alex, it's still Dwayne.
Right.
Your heart going to be in it, playing for that guy after what he did to you?
Well, Skip, we still got to check. But I think we set that aside for the simple fact of what's at stake. We still have an opportunity, we still have an opportunity to win the division. Yes, I'm disappointed because he put us in a situation that didn't need to happen. And, you know, the old saying, Skip, it's easier to apologize than ask for permission. Because do you believe that he would say, hey, Coach Rivera, let me ask you a question. I know we lost today, but you think it'd be okay if I go to the strip joint and blow off a little steam?
Yeah.
But it's easier to apologize than ask that man for permission.
Yep.
So with that being said, I still believe the defense can win the game. Now, Alex Smith, Skip, we know Alex. He got the name checked down because he was unwilling to take risks. I looked at, Alex Smith threw 125 touchdowns in 5 years in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has 112 in 45 games. So what will he have in 5 years? So you're probably talking about 170, 180 touchdowns. What this guy threw in 5 years. So he's very cautious with the football. The problem is, Skip, he just can't move. Okay. It's hard for him to get out of harm's way.
Okay, so this is going to be a low-scoring affair. When I guessed the point spread on Carolina at Washington, I just thought, the Reds, I'm calling them the Redskins, the football team, I'm thinking
3-4.
No, I thought it'd be 6. I thought, come on, over Carolina, they've lost, what, up to 10 in a row now? 10 in a row they've lost. And I look, and it opened at only 1.5. Washington football team by 1.5. Yeah. Now it's been bet up because people are saying, really, only 1.5 to 2.5.
Right.
Well, that means Carolina, according to the odds makers, has a shot here.
They do. They do. Because they're looking at, Skip, they're looking at the quarterback situation in Washington. It's not like it's a pillar of stability. You got Alex Smith, who missed the game the previous week with a calf injury. We don't know he's throwing on the side. Hell, Skip, throwing on the side ain't throwing on the field and taking steps because he's being very cautious with it. He's not going back, dropping and driving that football because he doesn't want to run the risk of injury. And then they got the Dwayne Haskins. They're like, he's +3 for the other team.
Okay, so I watched the whole game on Saturday evening, Carolina at your man Aaron Rodgers on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. And what did I see Carolina do to your man Aaron Rodgers in the second half? They held him to 44 yards passing. Yeah. And Aaron said, I sucked.
Yeah.
44 yards passing, and they sacked him 3 times. And you told me last week they can't sack anybody, and they sacked Aaron Rodgers 3 times against that offensive line.
They got him, Skip. But here's the thing. Do you believe Green Bay's defense is the equivalent of Washington's defense? That's what you have to ask.
It's pretty good, but it's probably not the front seven.
That front seven is relentless.
Okay,
and this is what Chase Young, and this is where those guys got to earn that money.
So here's what I love about my new man, Teddy Bridge over Troubled Waters. He's going to be my bridge over troubled waters this year.
No,
I need Teddy Bridgewater to come up big. He is capable of winning road games when you least expect it. Last year for New Orleans, he went up to Seattle, remember that? In his first big start, what did he do? He beat the Seahawks when they were riding high.
Beat your team.
Okay? But look what he did. He outplayed Mahomes at Mahomes this year, and they finally lost 33-31, and he out-QBR'd Patrick Mahomes in his home, boy. How about that?
But guess what he had?
Yeah.
That was the first game he had who back? C-Mac.
Okay. And all right, there's no C-Mac. He's out. That's for a fact. Okay. Then what else has he done? Well, he did Teddy Bridgewater and company. They went to New Orleans, and they only lost by 3, 27-24 to Drew Brees. Matt Rule, college coach from Baylor.
Yeah.
They play with that old college try. They hang in these games. They went to Minnesota when Minnesota had won 3 out of 4 games, and they lost 28-27. I can show you a bunch of games where they hung in and played it close.
They got a nice offense. They got they trio of wide receivers of DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and Samuels. They got a nice little group. Davis can run the ball. He's not Christian McCaffrey, but he can run the serviceable.
I agree. The 3 receivers are all dangerous because they can run.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a shot here, and I'm taking the shot. I say it's going to be the upset of the year, and it won't be that big an upset because Washington is going to feel the pressure, and they've got trouble at quarterback. They have issues surrounding the quarterback position. It's going to be low scoring, And I believe Teddy Bridge over troubled waters can get to 20. I think he can put up 20 against that defense. And if he does,
We'll get 23.
20 to 17.
We getting 23 then.
Okay.
Whatever y'all get to, we getting the 3 more.
And all of a sudden, head to head, you can watch it unfold right before your very eyes on your 2 TVs. You'll see, the Dallas Cowboys are tied for the lead in the NFC East.
Ain't happening.
And then it will come down to the final weekend, and then I'll really be back on the Jalen Hurts bandwagon because they have to end the Washington season the following week.
But what happens if Danny Dimes in your season?
Well, he will try, and Jason Garrett will try to get his revenge as the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
And it won't happen because we already beat them once, and there's just something about it's the rock, paper, scissors within the division. We got the number of, we are the paper covering the rock of the Giants.
Well, so what Philly? So I got Philly beating you guys, and I got Washington beating Carolina, which that really.